we're about to get rolling, but I want to let you know there's 2 of you that I'm going to be addressing directly in this video in a couple of minutes, and one of you wrote a letter to me that I'm going to share with everybody, and everybody I'm going to ask for your help with that one in particular. And don't worry, it's not going to cost you anything, but stay tuned. Here we go. Welcome to Tony Tone Barbecue. I'm Tony, and working with me today and learning along with you is my daughter Charlotte. Charlie, say hi.
Hi.
I call her Charlie. And if you are thinking about getting into barbecue, you have no idea where to start, or maybe you're brand new barbecue and you're struggling, this video is for you. And I really did try to keep it to under an hour. Sorry, I found that I can't give you all of this information here in less than an hour. There's so much. I'm going to go over, starting from the beginning, all the tools that you need to get started. I'm going to tell you what the #1 most important tool is. And by the way, that tool is free. And I'm going to let you know what the most important skill to learn is. And I'm going to review the 5 biggest rookie mistakes. And I use that word rookie with love, okay? I'm going to tell you what those 5 biggest mistakes are that everybody makes right out the gate. I'm going to tell you how to get past those. This video is going to cover not just the what, but also the how and the why, like literally everything, okay? My goal here is to help you just be able to not just cook something. Now, this is not a recipe video. I'm not going to teach you how to cook a steak. I'm going to teach you how to use the tools to be able to cook anything, okay? All right, now Packer has joined us, and before we get rolling, there's a couple people I need to address directly, all right? First of all, Daniel, if you're watching, thank you. Thank you so much for hitting that thank you button. And I just completely blows me away anytime anybody does that. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and it really helps the channel. And for those of you that don't know what that thank you button is, but down there below the, there's the thumbs up buttons and all that stuff, and the comments buttons. There is also a thank you button. I think it looks like a heart with a $sign on it. It's actually a monetary contribution, and I've had a few of these, and rarely do I get to say thank you to the people, in a video. That I always respond with a message, but it's so cool. And I spent a lot of money making these videos, putting all this together, and every single dollar that I get like that just helps tremendously, and I just appreciate it so much. And so I just want to say thank you, Daniel, and thank you to everybody else who's ever sent a monetary contribution to the channel. I just really appreciate that. And the other person that I need to address, Cody, if you're watching, man, thank you for sending me that message and sharing with me what's going on in your life. And I just want to say, well, you know what? I'm going to read that message to all of you right now. And Cody, I hope you don't mind. Let me bust out the glasses here so I can actually read this. And okay, here we go. It's going to be a little tough for me, but all right. Tony, I've never thought about messaging a YouTuber, but here I am, haha. I just want to say thank you for making the amazing videos. I've been fighting cancer since December, and I've watched so many of your videos. You've got me through some tough days during my recovery. I just received a bone marrow transplant a few weeks ago, so I've been in bed learning all about barbecue. Thanks for helping me through this tough time in my life. It's encouraging to me to hurry up and get past this and get a grill. I'm thinking about picking up the Judge. Seems like the perfect solution for my goals. I'm most excited about trying to do some pork ribs first. Cody, all I can say, God bless you, Cody. And may the Lord eradicate every single one of those cancer cells from your body and return you back to the perfect person that He created, so you can get back out there and start barbecuing for yourself, making some great foods, and sharing it with everybody around you. And I just hope for a speedy recovery first. And for everybody watching this, if you pray, please, I'd love it if you'd go ahead and take a moment right now to say a prayer for Cody. If you don't pray, that's great too. Just please send him your best wishes and all that positive energy that he needs for his body to beat this cancer and get right back out there with the rest of us. And also, to everybody else out there recovering from anything and struggling and suffering, just send out those positive vibes, please, to everyone. So thank you for that. And I just got to say that blows me away. I'm just dude out here barbecuing and sharing my knowledge, and to have somebody write me like that to tell me that these videos are making such a positive difference in their life, that's just touching and blows me away, and it's humbling at the same time. And all I can say is I thank God for the blessings He's given me. I thank YouTube for this amazing platform that allows me to be able to connect with you, and I thank all of you for tuning in and joining me here and watching these videos, and for your likes, your comments, and shares, and all that stuff. And I just want to say that when I first started this channel, I never thought that I would ever have over 32,000 subscribers, and I know there's so many people that have a lot more than that, but I mean 32,000 subscribers is amazing to me. At the same time, I never thought that I wouldn't. I just went ahead and did it. And when I was a kid growing up, I'll share this little bit and then we're going. There was this poster on my wall that I grew up with. I think I picked it up from one of those Scholastic Book Fair things. And it was Garfield and Odie, Garfield the cat, sitting in a tree with Odie the dog on this branch up high. And Garfield's thought was, it's amazing what one can accomplish when one doesn't know what one can't do. And he's referring to the fact that Odie, this dog, is sitting up in the tree with him, and Odie just didn't know he can't climb a tree. And this is written by Jim Davis. I don't know if Mr. Davis got this from somebody else, but it made a huge difference in my life. It's something that stuck with me my entire life. Like, I had no idea that I would be able to create this platform, this channel, and I never thought I wouldn't be able to either. I just went ahead and did it. And I just want to tell you, whatever it is you want to accomplish in your life, whether it's buy a dream home, or get a better job, or beat cancer, and become the best barbecuer in the entire world, okay? Just forget any possibility, just eliminate any possibility in your mind and your heart that you can't do it. And you'll get it done, all right? Just move forward, because you never know what kind of difference you might make in somebody else's life. So with that, let's talk about some barbecue, guys. All right, here we go. All right, behind me, you'll see that I have a lot of different barbecue tools. And if you look at my channel, you notice I do a lot of my work on an offset smoker. But that's not where I started, and that's not where I'm going to start you. I'm going to start you with one of the greatest barbecue inventions ever created, okay? We're going to go to work with the classic Weber Kettle. There's a couple of them right here. And before we talk about these, I want you to know this is not a sponsored Weber commercial, okay? Weber doesn't even know I'm doing this. I paid for these with my own money. I'm not getting anything from Weber for talking about these. I'm only recommending these Weber kettles because they literally are one of the best barbecues ever created, and they can take you so far. There's so much you can do with the Weber kettle, and honestly, it could be the one and only barbecue tool you ever really need, although there's so many others out there. So what we have here is two different versions of the same Weber kettle. All right, there's three main versions of the 22-inch Weber kettle, which is what these are, 22-inch Weber kettles. This is the classic version, and this is the Master Touch Weber kettle. There's one more in between called the Premium Weber kettle. Okay, there's also some bigger ones and a few different versions of these each, but these are the three main ones. Okay, so the biggest difference, though, between the Master Touch and the Classic and the Premium is that the Master Touch is slightly taller. Okay, if you can see here, come down with me a little bit here, Charlotte. The Master Touch sits maybe 3 or 4 inches taller than the Classic Weber kettle. So if you're a short person, maybe it's no big deal, but if you're a little bit taller, you might like the Master Touch, so you don't have to bend over so far. We'll get into talking about pricing on these a little bit later. Another major difference between the Master Touch and the Premium versus the Classic is this ash pan down here. The Classic has this little dish here that ashes fall into, and I'm going to show you how that works later. And the Master Touch and the Premium both have this cool little bowl here, so this is a much more cleaner operation. But we're going to get into some more details later, and throughout the video I'll point out some of the differences, like the handles, the gauges, and all that stuff. One thing that I want to point out is that this one is brand new. How old would you guess this one is? I know the ash pan down there looks like it's been used pretty well. They all have a code on their vent damper up here, and this one, the code is DU. That means that this Weber kettle was built in 2002. This kettle is about 23 years old, and it is in excellent condition because if you use these and take care of them properly, they practically last forever. Yeah, you can rust one out, but it's real easy not to. I'm going to show you how. And let me show you a difference on the inside here. This one just comes with your standard grate, and there is a hook on the inside of the lid here, so you can hook the lid on the side of the kettle like that when you don't have it on the kettle. This is the standard grate that it came with. And you'll see inside here I've got cast iron grates and some stuff in there, accessories. We're not going to get into accessories right now, but this is the regular old wire grate that came with this kettle. And let me show you over here. On the Master Touch, go and remove the lid there, please. Put it in the cradle. There we go. The Master Touch comes with this cool little cradle where you can stick your lid. And this is a warming rack that it comes with. And we'll get that out of the way for now. And the wire grate that it comes with, it's an upgraded grate. There's a few little things here, like it's got this little part here that opens up so you can add more charcoal. And it's got this piece here in the middle that you can remove. And the reason it removes is because there's a bunch of accessories that are available for this. And we're not going to get into all that today either because we're getting a little bit more advanced there. But instead we're just going to focus now on how to use this, and we're going to focus on a few of the tools that I recommend to go with these. They're going to make your experience so much easier, and it's going to make grilling a lot of fun. All right, here we go. Let's show you how to put together your new Weber kettle. In this box is the Weber Master Touch 22-inch grill, and unless you buy it pre-assembled, it's going to come in a box like this. And FYI, this box weighs 47 pounds, so just keep that in consideration when you're thinking about throwing it in your trunk or back of your SUV. I paid $289 for this, and that's the current price when I'm making this video. There's two other versions of this same 22-inch grill. The Weber Classic 22-inch is $129, so keep that in mind. Major difference between it, and I'll show you on another one, is that it doesn't have the little ash catcher down here on the bottom, as well as a few other features. And then there's the Weber Premium 22-inch grill, which is very similar to this. It does have that ash catching cup there. But it doesn't come with a bunch of the accessories that this one comes with. So I just went ahead and wanted to get this one because it kind of comes with everything you will need to grow in your barbecue experience. So let's go ahead and get this open, and I'll show you what's inside. And this is everything that was inside that box. I know it looks like a lot, and it's a bit of a mess right now, but we've got the charcoal grate that goes down inside the kettle, and we've got your cooking grate here. We'll get that out of the way. And then the other parts here, we've got the wheels and the hanger for the lid, and the ash pan down below, and thermometer, and a few little nuts and bolts, and of course the lid and the main body over here. So let's go ahead and get these all together. There we go. All right, and that's how you assemble the Weber Master Touch. She's good to go. I've got the warming rack now where it's supposed to go, on right side up and on top of the grate, and the lid closes nicely. Piece of cake, ready to cook. All right, so here's the things that I recommend that you're probably going to need. First of all, you're going to need something kind of fuel, and I highly recommend just good old-fashioned charcoal, like Kingsford charcoal. Again, not a Kingsford commercial, but I use this one a lot because it works really well. Pick whatever charcoal you want, but you need to burn something, so that's a good option. Now, the things that I recommend, you can do without, but I highly recommend a charcoal chimney starter. This is the Weber Rapid Fire. I'll show you how this works. I'll also show you how to light charcoal without one, but there's a reason that I recommend this, and we'll get to that shortly. Okay, I also highly recommend some just cheap old tongs like this. These ones were like $9 at Home Depot or something like that. Cheapest tongs you can find. And I use these tongs just for arranging charcoal. I'm going to show you how I use that. Not with these because they're brand new and they're a gift to somebody, but I have a nice old pair. And I'll show you with that. You're going to need a lighter. You know, something like this, a nice cool lighter that you can use to light your charcoal with. Tumbleweeds are these are the Royal Oak tumbleweeds, are a nice product for lighting your charcoal. Whatever you do, do not use lighter fluid. I'm going to tell you right now, do not use lighter fluid, and there's a reason why. All right, I don't care how long you let it burn. If you cook food that you used lighter fluid to get your charcoal going, I don't care how long you let it burn, I can taste it. And anybody that knows can taste it. So don't use lighter fluid. Use a tumbleweed like this, or I'll show you a couple other ways you can light it, but just stay away from the lighter fluid, okay? I'd highly recommend a metal can like this. Charlotte, go ahead and take the lid off. This metal garbage can, this is a 10-gallon pail, and this is excellent for putting your ashes into, or even hot coals if you need to, but it's good to have something safe to put that stuff into. And one more little thing is I recommend finding, if you can, find an old used wire rack like this that's large enough to fit. Go ahead and move that lid again. There, that's large enough to fit on top of your trash can. There's a reason for it. I'll get to it. If you need to, buy one, maybe on Amazon. They're might be $10, super cheap, but just something that'll fit on the top of this. Also, some high temperature barbecue gloves like these ones. They've got a silicone grip on them, but if you're going to be working with those really hot coals, it's nice to have that for when you're doing that, and I'll show you how I do that as well. We're going to go over all this. So these are the tools that I recommend for barbecuing with. And just 3 more cooking tools that I recommend. Good pair of tongs for grabbing your food. A decent spatula, like this one here. That's a Weber spatula. And also really handy to have is a instant read thermometer, like this one from ThermoPro. It's a ThermoPro Lightning. And just check the description of my video, and I'll have links to all this stuff, so make it easier for you to find these things. And let's get to burning some charcoal. All right, so this kettle's brand new, and manufacturer recommends that before you do any cooking of food on it, that you go ahead and do a 30-minute burn-in with some charcoal to burn off any impurities that might have come from the factory. So we'll go ahead and do that, but we're also going to use that as a teaching opportunity. I'm going to show you how to light some charcoal in the grill, and we're going to let that cool off, and then we're going to show you how to empty the ashes and clean it out and all that good stuff. And then we'll move on to another one with the cook, and I'll show you those 5 rookie mistakes that everybody likes to make. So let me let you have a look inside this grill here. This is the warming rack. You can put buns, you can put veggies, whatever you want on top of this. We're just going to get that out of the way for now. We're not going to use that today. We will save accessory stuff for another cook another time, okay? So now when this grate here has special handles, and I'm going to show you what these are designed to do, okay? We're going to set that there for a second. First thing we need to do is take out this middle piece and set that aside. And we're going to take out this grate here, and here's how these handles work. You take it like this, and you just hook it on the side of your grill. So now you have some place to store this without just tossing it on the ground. Now, down inside here, this is the charcoal grate. And these guys right here are designed to help you arrange your charcoal. Let me show you how they snap in real quick. It's pretty simple. You just hook these two back hooks here against one of the grates here with the middle bar there in the center between the two, and then you just lean forward and snap it into place. And I'm going to show you why that's there for you, but basically it's so that it can help you keep your charcoal all in one area. So we'll get this out of the way for now. We're not going to use these for what we're doing right now. All right, so down in here, this is your charcoal grate, okay? We're going to put the charcoal directly on top of this, and we're going to light it on fire. Down inside here is your damper. This damper is also basically a sweeper that you use to getting rid of your ashes. When you burn that charcoal, all the ash is going to come down in here, and you will use this and you move it side to side by using this lever here. Okay, back up here. And when ashes are here, it will sweep the ashes down in those holes, and from there it'll go into your catch basin down below. This device also controls airflow. I'm going to show you how to use that, but you control the airflow will regulate the temperature. It'll control the temperature that you're cooking at, so you are not cooking at too high of a temperature. So by turning this this way, you close off the air and you reduce the temperature. We'll get to that, but right now we're just going to focus on doing that burn-in. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and put this grate back in place here. Okay. Got that sitting there. And I got my Kingsford charcoal here. We're just going to go ahead and add a little pile of charcoal to the top of the grate like that. Now we've got our charcoal in place here. I'm going to show you one way to light that charcoal that's not using lighter fluid, okay? Remember those tumbleweeds I showed you? Here's a little box. I'm going to take one of these out. Matter of fact, I'm going to take two of them out because the second one came out. There we go. And I'm going to just put these down here like this. I'm going to put another one in here like that. And I'm going to just build this charcoal up here on top of it. But I'm going to make sure I leave a little bit of space so that I can still access those tumbleweeds. There we go. See one there, see one there. I'm going to take my trusty lighter here. I'm going to light those tumbleweeds. There is one more tool that you need, and it is by far the most important tool. That tool is patience. Barbecuing shouldn't be stressful. You need a lot of patience when it comes to barbecue. And even I need to be reminded of that at times to time. For me, the only thing stressful about barbecue is making videos about barbecue. Making videos is stressful for me. But I have to remember, just relax, okay? You can't rush barbecue, and you know, got to be patient, let the fire do what the fire does, and we're going to get into that in a little more detail later. I got a lot of videos on fire management and stuff, but remember to relax, enjoy yourself, crack open a cold one of your favorite beverage, and just don't rush it. Give yourself plenty of time to do this, because it's not something you could just turn on, turn off like a microwave, all right? So we're getting... coals are about ready here, so we'll be back here in just a second. All right, it's been about 20 minutes and the charcoal is mostly whited over. And this is what we're looking for. We want your charcoal to be mostly whited over before you start doing any cooking. And the reason for that is, one, consistent temperature. If you still have a lot of charcoal that needs to be lit, like this stuff here that's around the outside, as that stuff starts to light, the temperature is going to be increasing. So it makes it a little bit more difficult when you're just getting your food on the grate here, to not burn it if it's just constantly getting hotter. The other thing is, when the charcoal is lighting up, you get a lot of this smoke coming off the charcoal. See, there's not as much now as there was when we first lit it, because it's burning clean, but as it gets going, it's giving off a lot of smoke, and that smoke isn't the best flavor. Depending on what you're cooking, if you're doing something that's hot and fast, you're only going to be on the fire for a few minutes, you definitely want to make sure all this stuff is nice and white, like might as well. If you're going to be cooking something for a long time, A little bit of the smoke is maybe not going to be the biggest difference, but I always try to minimize it. But that's where patience really comes into play. So because we're just doing the burn in here, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to use, these are my old charcoal tongs that I've used for, I don't know, 6-7 years now. I've had these ones for a while. I'm going to spread these out. I'm going to take these ones that are on the outside and I'm going to put them here in the middle of the pile so that they'll get finish getting lit up a little faster. And I'm just going to spread these out a little bit. And most of the time, I'm not spreading my charcoal out like this. But for this initial burn-in, that is what we're going to do. All right. This is where these charcoal, these high heat gloves come in handy, because I can actually handle hot coals with them if I need to. It just makes it a lot more comfortable dealing with this high heat that's coming off this charcoal right now. So I've got those spread out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put this cooking grate in. Set that there. There we go. And let's go ahead and get the accessory center grate here in place. So that gets the initial burn in as well. And might as well throw this guy in there too. We're not cooking anything right now. We're just going to let this sit here. I got the bottom vent wide open. I got the upper vent also wide open. And we're going to let this cook, like Weber says, for at least 30 minutes. And then that portion will be done. And then we'll be ready to do some cooking. All right? All right. It's been the required 30 minutes. So the burn-in process is now done. Let's have a look inside so you can see how it looks in there now. You see there's still a lot of charcoal down there. That charcoal is going to burn for quite a long time. And you know what? We're not going to waste that. There actually is a way to turn off your charcoal grill, believe it or not. And here's how we do it. I'm going to come over here to the exhaust vent, and we're going to go ahead and close that off. So that way the holes are completely covered. And then down below over here, this is your air intake vent down here. We're going to move this lever all the way this way, and that closes off the air vents underneath completely. What we're doing now is we're choking off the air, and without air, fire cannot burn. And that is going to put these coals out, and when they're cold, I'm going to show you how we dump the ashes and how we get rid of them. And then we're going to be ready for our actual first cook on this. All right. Good morning. It's the next day, and yesterday we did the burn-in of our brand new Weber Kettle here. And so now we're going to empty the ashes, and then we're going to do an actual cook, okay? So let's have a look inside here. Showed you by choking off the air, we actually stopped the coals from burning. So let me get this stuff out of the way, and then I'm going to show you the coals that are inside. Packer, get out of the way, buddy. I'll get this one out of the way. Hang this right here. All right. So this is the leftover charcoal. You can see some of them are still even can turn. Packer, come on, buddy. Yeah, it can still turn white. So we cut this off pretty good. This coal is still usable. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this grate here and just tap it a little bit. Yeah, and we're going to shake off some of the excess ash that's on there. And then I've got this handy dandy little bucket here that I use and I collect my leftover coal in. Now, you can see in the bucket here, I've got quite a bit. And the reason for that is because I put it in there and I kind of forget about it, honestly. But whenever I want to do a quick cook, like I'm just going to grill some burgers or something like that, this is my go-to. I do a lot of long cooks, so sometimes I'll just start off with fresh coals, and I also use a lot of wood. But that is a completely different animal, and we're not going to talk about that today. So I've got this little bucket here of coals, and I can easily use this. It's not garbage. I'm going to keep that. Now, set that aside for now. Down in here, I'll remove the charcoal grate. You'll see down inside there is ash. And I'm going to show you how this ash sweeper works. This is the damper and ash sweeper. So down below you've got your lever, And we're just gonna move this way, and if you look inside here, you'll see that it sweeps the ashes down into that hole. And you just kind of go back and forth quickly like that. And it does a good job of getting enough of those ashes out of there. And that brings us to rookie mistake number 1. Not dumping your ashes. See, there's not much left here. What's left here is fine, but what happens if you don't dump your ashes, the ash actually attracts moisture. And if you want to rust out the bottom of your brand new kettle, just go ahead and leave those ashes in there for weeks or months. A lot of us will shut these things down in, December or November maybe, when it starts getting cold, and they don't get used for a few months until spring times, and in all that time, that ash down there is just attracting moisture, and it will rust out the bottom of your kettle. If you empty these ashes to at least this, after every cook, like the next day, I always do it within 24 hours. If you do that, then you will also have a Weber Kettle sitting in your backyard, uncovered in the weather, that is over 20 years old someday. So just a little FYI there. That's all you got to do with these things. It's the most important piece of maintenance you can do, is just empty your ashes. Now, down below, they go into this little bucket here. Now, on the classic kettle, like my 23-year-old kettle over here, it's got a little pan. It does the exact same thing. You just sweep the ashes down into there. I left a little in there intentionally for you so you can see how it works. All right, you do your sweeping. All right, and when you get all the ashes out of there, then right here you've got these little wire clips here. Just twist that over to one side, and you can drop that down. All you got to do is one of them, and you take it out. And then over here, we've got my metal pail. And inside here, I've got a bunch of ashes. Now, I showed you that metal pail before. There's 2 uses I have for this metal pail. Dumping the ashes in and storing them is one of the uses. You'll see the other use here pretty soon. I'm gonna put this ash pan back, put that down there, and then just twist this wire back underneath. There we go. That's all you gotta do there. Now, on the Weber Premium and the Master Touch, you've got this cool little bowl here, and you've got this little handle down here, the second handle. You just squeeze those clips, and it hinges down, and there you go. There's your ashes. Notice this is a little bit more of a cleaner operation than that one over there, because you don't got dust flying everywhere. But hey, they both do the same thing. So get whatever one works best for you. I like these Webers because the quality that goes into them, they last a really long time. And there we go. You just clip that back in there, and we are ready to start over and start cooking. So now, we're gonna cook today a couple things. We're gonna grill something hot and fast so I can show you how to grill directly over the coals. And we're also gonna cook something that takes a little bit longer, and we're gonna have those off to the side of the coals. So first thing we need to do is we need to get some charcoal ready. And that's gonna bring us to rookie mistake number 2. And that is using too much or not enough charcoal or fuel or whatever you're using for your cook. So how do you know how much to use? You just dump in a bunch and hope for the best? Well, you could, and you can get used to looking at your pile and saying, okay, well, that looks to be about the right amount. Another thing you can do is you can count the charcoal briquettes that you put in there. That's kind of tedious and time consuming, but you can do it. Or you can use a big old measuring cup like this. This charcoal chimney starter does 2 things for me. All right, one, it gives me a visual of exactly how much charcoal I'm going to put in there. So I can put in, if I fill this thing to the top of charcoal, well, that's how much charcoal I have. And on my next cook, if I can fill it to there, I can measure it. If I want to use half that amount, I just fill it halfway. It gives me a visual so I can see how much charcoal I'm going to be cooking with. And it also does a really great job of lighting all the charcoal on fire so you have a more consistent starting point. And I'm going to show you how that works right now. So back to that garbage can, that metal bucket. Here's the second use I have for that. So I'm going to set that lid there. And remember I also mentioned get an old wire rack. Well, when you fill this thing full of charcoal and you light it on fire, what are you going to do with it? You're going to stick it on your patio floor, or you can't put it on your wood deck. Please don't do that. You put it on the ground, whatever. But it's a really clean operation if you take your bucket and you take an old rack like this and you just put it on there, because that thing is going to be lit on fire. There's going to be ashes, and you want to protect whatever surface you're working on. This is a really great way to do this. Now we're going to fill this thing up with charcoal, and then we're going to light it, start a fire underneath of it. And there's a couple things you can use to light the fire. You can use a couple of tumbleweeds like I showed you before. You take one or two of these, put it down here underneath, and then you put your chimney on top of it full of charcoal, light them on fire, and there you go. Okay? Or another thing you can do, my favorite, is you can take a bunch of wad up some newspaper or a bunch of old scrap pieces of paper from the job and stuff the bottom full of that paper. There you go. And then flip it over and then fill it full of charcoal and light it up, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. Now notice I am no longer showing you that brand new pretty Weber rapid fire charcoal starter, because that one is a gift. I'm not going to use that. I was going to my boy. This is my old one, which is why I recommend the Weber rapid fire. This thing is, I don't know, 7 years old. Look at it. And the hell it goes through lighting all this charcoal on a regular basis, and it is pretty darn intact. It also sits out here on the bottom rack of one of my offset smokers over here. And so it's not really treated in the best environment or taken care of. It just does the job. So let's go ahead and light that up. Now that we got it full of charcoal, get my lighter, and here we go. That's how we light it up. We'll hit it over here, get it going over here. I kind of like to hit it for 3 or 4 sides. I mean, one's enough, but honestly, I just want it to go. All right, there it is. So while that is getting going, we're going to exercise and use that tool that I talked about, that most important tool called patience. And we're just going to let that do its thing and get going. In the meantime, I'm going to come back over here to the Weber Kettle, and I'm going to show you what rookie mistake number 3 is. Rookie mistake number 3 is putting your charcoal in here and just spreading it across the whole bottom of this charcoal grate. Okay, that's what a lot of people think you got to do when you're first starting off. You don't. Matter of fact, I rarely spread charcoal all the way across. The only time I spread charcoal all the way across is if I am going to be cooking a bunch of stuff that's just hot and fast. Like maybe I'm doing a bunch of dogs, or I'm doing a bunch of hamburgers, and I want to get them all done real fast. I'm going to be using the entire grate up here for doing just some hot and fast cooking. But a lot of times I'm doing something more like chicken, and the smoke is following me. And the chicken, and I don't want the chicken directly over the coals, because it's going to catch on fire. And I'm even going to demonstrate that hopefully here in a minute. So that's where these things come in handy. Now, there's a lot of different accessories you can get for Weber kettles, because they're so popular, and a lot of companies like to, hey, I'm going to make something cool for a Weber kettle that makes cooking easier, and I think that's fantastic. I'm not going to get into all those accessories in this video, but make sure you subscribe, and I'll show you some of the different things that I use. And this model, the Weber Master Touch, comes with these little wire racks right here. What this is a charcoal separator, and you can place this here on your charcoal rack wherever you want, okay? So if you want charcoal to be arranged just over here on this side of your grate, then you can place this down in here like this. You just hook those two legs down underneath the grate like that, and then just hinge it forward, and it snaps into place. And then when you put your charcoal, when you pour it into here from your charcoal chimney starter, you can just pour it down in here. And so this is where your fire is going to be. And all this area over here is going to be your cool zone. It's not exactly cool, it's going to be hot in here, but you're not directly over the fire. Right here it might be 600 degrees. Over here you might be 350, you know, it just kind of depends on how you work the vents. So you can use this. Now this unit actually comes with two of these, so if you want you can have some charcoal over here and some charcoal over here and your cool zone in the middle. So today what we're going to do, we're going to use one of these, and I'm going to place this right here like that, and we're just going to have the charcoal in this area right here, okay? So now we just have to wait for that charcoal to finish heating up. This is what we do. We're waiting for the charcoal to finish lighting up here. Just chilling with some coffee, and we got Packer chilling over here. There's Charlie, and there's the fire. I think you can see that, and just hanging out, having a good time. Charcoal is getting really close to being ready to go. When I see a lot of flames shooting out the top of the chimney starter, that's when I know we're getting real close. I just want to point out a couple of differences here between the Master Touch and the Classic. Now I did a little rearranging, as you can see here, and that Master Touch was sitting right there in the center of your view. And notice the brick down below, it's pretty clean. I just got done emptying the ashes out of it. Now the other one, the Classic, was sitting over here where the Master Touch is now, and look over here. See that? See all that dust? That is ash. That is what blew out when I was emptying that ash pan. So, yeah, you know, just minor little detail, easy to dust off or rinse away, whatever. I also mentioned before that the Master Touch is taller than the Classic and the Premium. The Master Touch also has a couple cool little things. It's got these little, tool hooks on the handle. That's kind of neat. The Master Touch does come with this grate that has the curved handle on the grate, so you can hang it from the side. Notice the Classic does not have that. Also, the Classic does not have a built-in temperature gauge. The Master Touch does. So does the Premium. And the gauge, it can be helpful. It honestly can be helpful. You just kind of have to get used to knowing how to use it and understand it. So, Charlotte, you ready? Charlotte's gloved up and good to go. Let's go ahead and get these coals dumped into the kettle here. All right? So, we're going to put these coals arranged all to the right side. And shake them all out of there. Beautiful. How many times have you done this before, Charlotte?
Once.
Huh?
Once.
Is this it? This is. I think that's your first time you've dumped charcoal in there, isn't it?
Oh, in this, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now back to this thing here. Go ahead and take that off and go and put it underneath the Grand Champ over there where I normally store it. So there's ashes from the paper. Let's go ahead and tap those, brush them down into my can, and hey, nice and clean. We're good to go there. Now, the fire over here, we've got them all arranged off to this side, and that's excellent. I'm just going to kind of spread it out a little bit more, and that's how we want it. Charlotte, why don't you go ahead and put on the cooking grate. There you go, a little hot, huh? Should have left those gloves on. And the centerpiece. Yep, line it up. Good job. You're a little offline. You're not lined up. There you go. Not too bad for your first time. Go ahead and put the lid down, please. And make sure the vent is wide open. I want to kill that fire. Oh yeah, another neat little thing that the Master Touch and the Premium have that the Classic doesn't. The little plastic tabs there on that vent. And on the Classic, it does not have that. And that thing gets really hot. So that's kind of nice. Otherwise, you know, you could use gloves, no big deal. But just wanted to share that just in case you're thinking about it. So if you're going to get yourself a charcoal grill to get started in your barbecuing adventure, I can't recommend sticking with the Webers enough because they are really built well and fantastic. If you go and get one of those cheapos, you know, the ones that are square, that are pretty shallow bottomed, oh, you're gonna have a tough time. Let me tell you that. You are gonna have a tough time. So we're just gonna let this thing get nice and hot here for a minute, and then we're gonna start cooking, okay? And here we go. All right, have a look at the temperature gauge here, and you can see this grill is nice and hot, and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and take the lid off, and I'm gonna show you inside. Now, here's the point where normally if I had done a cook on this yesterday or before, whatever, and the grate was a little dirty, this is where I would clean it up. Personally, I like to use a really high quality wire brush with a scraper. I use a scraper to knock off the stuff, and I lightly hit it with the wire brush, and it's clean. But I want to warn you to be super careful with wire brushes. Everybody freaks out about them because if they fall apart on your grate, you can end up with one of those wires in your stomach, and that's a really bad thing. So if you're going to use a wire brush, be super careful and get a high quality one, and then use your eyes and use your common sense and check and make sure there's nothing left behind. There's also like those black Brilla looking pads that you can scrub and clean with. Those are great too. And you know what too, if you want, after you're done cooking when the grate is cool, you can literally take the grate off and take it inside and clean it up in your kitchen sink. So I'm going to leave that up to you. Do whatever works best for you, but just know that the fire is going to sanitize your cleaning surface. Okay, that's one of the beauties of barbecue, is that, you know, you've got this metal surface out here, and it's going to get all saucy and dirty and everything as you cook, and that fire is going to sanitize that. And so all you got to do is scrape off what burns up after you fire up your coals, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and get some things on the grill here. We're going to do a couple things here. We're going to do some hot and fast. What is not hotter and faster than some good old hot dogs right over the coals? We're going to put that right there, and we're going to let these get those grill marks, and they're going to cook real quick, and we're going to start eating those right away. It's going to be breakfast, hot dogs for breakfast, okay? Real simple dogs. Now, we're also going to do some things that are going to require a little more time. Here's what we've got. We've got a 4 chicken thighs, 4 chicken legs, and a rack of St. Louis style ribs. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you caught that. See those hot dogs automatically flipping over there? As they get hot, they kind of heat up on one side and bubble up, and they'll just roll over. So sometimes you don't even got to roll them yourself. We're going to leave those right over the coals until they're ready to cook. And these guys here, they're going to take a little longer, and we don't want them to burn. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to arrange the chicken drumsticks here. Oh, by the way, season them however you want. I'm going to put the drumsticks here right on the edge of the coals, okay? And I'm putting the thick side closer to the fire. And I'm going to arrange these thighs over here along the edge. There we go. And I'm keeping in mind I want to leave a little room for those ribs. So there we go. Just going to arrange it in there. We're looking good. And that rack of ribs, I'm going to take the thicker side, which is right here. I'm going to put them right here on the edge. Just tuck it in there nice. There we go. I'll prop these up a little bit here. Okay. Now I'm just going to roll that over a little bit there. See how fast these are cooking? All right, this is hot and fast over here, so you'll want to be careful. And now I'm going to switch to tongs because I don't want to burn myself. That little latex glove there, or nitrile glove, is only going to protect me so long. There, see how nice those are looking? This is hot and fast right here, so we want to be careful not to let them stay in one spot for too long and burn. But man, we're talking just a couple minutes and these dogs are ready to eat. That's going to be nice. And in the meantime, this chicken over here is starting to get a little bit of heat, but not enough to really do any cooking damage. How simple that is. That's fun, right? Whew, that's hot. Okay. There we go. Now, I want to show you what time it is. It is 9:51 right now. It is 74 degrees outside, 56% humidity if you care. My little Thermo Pro clock thermometer thing. I love that thing. It's kind of handy. It just magnetized, sticks to my rigs out here. Okay, these are good to go. I'm taking them off. There we go. Beautiful. Set those aside for now. And for the chicken here, we're just going to go ahead and take this lid. We're going to close it up, and we're going to talk about rookie mistake number 4. Rookie mistake number 4 is not using the lid and the damper to control your temperature. Okay, I have run into some folks that thought the lid was just, you know, put it on the kettle when you're not using it. That is not accurate. This lid is going to make this thing work like a smoker oven, kind of. All right, you're going to, you notice the temperature is coming up pretty quickly there. You're trapping the heat inside here, and it's circulating around inside this kettle. It's flown from over here, and it's circulating in there, and it's cooking that up. So what we're going to do, we don't want this thing burning super hot, because we're not going to cook this chicken at 500 degrees. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to choke this way down to where there's just a couple little slivers open there. Okay, that's where we're going to start. That way, we're going to keep that coal from burning too hot. And down below here, also, that lever, you really can't see from where Charlotte's standing right now, but I'm going to shove this over here closer to close as well. But I'm going to leave it open a little bit, so that way it's going to keep the temperature much lower. We're going to come back here in a little while, and I'm going to show you what the temperature is doing and let you have a look at the chicken. And then after that chicken cooks up a little bit too, I'm going to see if I can maybe create a little bit of a fire here by putting a piece directly over the coals. And I want to show you what happens when it flames up and how you can prevent burning from that from happening. So let's go and shut this down for now, and have us up a hot dog. How's that first bite?
Okay, good.
Good. All right, the time is, according to the little Thermo Pro here, it's 10:10. So it's been almost 20 minutes since we put the lid down. And have a look at the temperature here. I haven't adjusted the vents since I closed it off, and we're getting down to around 325. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this vent a little bit here, about halfway. Now, probably the most important thing I can tell you about working with charcoal, fire in general, is take the time to learn and understand your fire. You know, you really got to kind of build a relationship with your fire. It's not like working with your cooktop in the kitchen, where you can just turn the heat up and turn the heat down underneath your pan. Fire is, you can turn the heat up and down, but it's going to react a lot slower. It took 20 minutes for it to go from up here in that 500 degree range down to 300, and you can see even now it's dropping a little bit more here. So what I'm going to do is I opened up the vent up here to halfway, and I'm going to go ahead and open up the vent on the bottom as well to about halfway, and I'm going to let life breathe back into that fire. And I'm going to check it again in another 20 minutes and see if that gauge doesn't come up any higher. But one more thing I'm going to do right now. I'm going to open this up and let you have a look inside. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. You see that heat is already starting to give those ribs a little bit of color. And you can see you've even got a little bit of juice kind of starting to bubble up out of that rib. That means it's cooking down in there nicely, and it's starting to you know, get juices flowing in an upward direction. Now I'm going to take this piece of chicken right here. I chose these chicken thighs intentionally because chicken thighs, hear that? Hear that sizzle? Chicken thighs have a lot of fat in them, and they burn easily. So I'm going to put that right over the coals here for a minute, and I'm going to see if I can do something that I normally try not to do, so this is difficult for me. I want that thing to start dripping some fat directly onto that charcoal, and I want it to catch on fire. So I'm going to put the lid down again for a few minutes just to see if we can let that start to happen as that fire gets hotter. And then I'm going to show you what you can do to, keep that from being a problem. It's been about 5 minutes and temperature is moving on up. It's close to about 330 right now. And think about it, if you're actually baking chicken in your oven, what temperature you're cooking at? You're probably right around 325, 350, and it's kind of creeping its way back up to 350. Something else I want you to notice is, see over here the vent. Notice you can actually kind of see some of the smoke coming out of there right now. That's because that chicken that I put on right directly over the coals is dripping its fat directly onto the coals, and that fat is burning off, and that's why you're seeing that smoke. That's kind of a good thing. And usually I cook chicken half the time away from the coals and the other half the time directly over the coals, but I wanted to put that one piece on a little early because I kind of wanted to see if I can get it to catch fire. There it is. Now I'll show you the bottom of this one. See, it's actually looking really good. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to move a couple other pieces over here to it as well. So the reason why I normally put chicken over the coals in the second half of its cooking time is because you want it to cook all the way through without it being burnt on the outside. So you got to be kind of careful with that. So I'm going to let it have all this chicken have a little time directly over the coals, and I'm going to move these legs over. See here, I can feel them getting firmer, so they're definitely cooking up here. I'm going to put these over the coals also because we're getting close to the halfway mark on their cooking time anyways. And well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you them catching on fire because I don't know, it's a mistake. I don't know. But what happens is if these catch on fire, and the best thing you can do to put the fire out is just keep that lid on. And if it's a really bad fire and it's really just flaring up in there, put the lid on and then just close the vents all the way. Just this one. You don't even worry about the bottom one. Usually just do the top, it's enough, because the smoke is going to get trapped with nowhere to go, and it's going to naturally put the fire out without the oxygen. The oxygen has to be moving, so for the oxygen to move, you have to have the bottom vent open and you have to have the top vent open at least a little bit. If it's closed off, then that heat rising and the smoke coming up, there's not going to be anywhere for it to go, and oxygen is not going to flow, and the smoke is going, and the fire is going to go out. So let's just go ahead and let this cook for a while, and we'll see what happens, and we'll be back. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes since I put that chicken directly over the coals. You can see we got a lot of smoke coming out of the vent now because there's a lot more chicken there, and it's dripping that fat down into those coals and burning off. And it's really one of the things that gives barbecue great flavor, is just fat burning off directly in the coals. So when you're cooking directly over the coals, though, you want to make sure you don't leave it over the coals unattended for too long. You got to check it every now and then, because high heat is going to burn your food if you leave it stay put for too long. So let's have a look at these pieces of chicken here. Might be time to flip yet. See, we're getting some nice color there. This is the one that went on way early. It's still looking pretty good there. So you can get a little bit of char going on right here, but we're still looking good. That's looking nice too. We're getting some bubbling. That's looking real good. We're not flare-ups or anything going on yet. These legs, they're looking good. Drumsticks. So we're just going to leave those alone. And we'll come back and check in a little while. If you're going to sauce these, I'm going to show you when it's time. It's not time yet, but soon. All right, it's been about another 5 minutes or so, and I made one little minor adjustment just because I really wanted to try to see if I can get this chicken to catch on fire. I opened up the vent all the way, so the holes are fully open, and temperature is creeping up closer to 350 now, but I can't help it. I need to have a look and make sure I'm not actually burning the chicken, because I don't want to ruin it. And so let's go ahead and have a look at what we got now. How's that color? We're looking really good there. Ah, there we go. See the flame? That's what I was hoping for. Look at that nice char. That's a good looking piece of chicken right there. This is the one that's had the most time. Look at that. That is beautiful. So we're going to go ahead, and there's that flame. Excellent. Okay, good. I'm going to go and flip these over now. And there we go. Yeah, it's looking nice. We might as well roll these drumsticks over as well. See if we can get a little char going on the other side. All right, looking really nice. Now, if you're gonna sauce, this is where I usually like to sauce after that first flip, after it's got a little char going. Usually you're about halfway through, and that way you are going to, you've already got your char down and the skin is crisping up nicely. And now we can go ahead and get some sauce on there and let that sauce kind of, you know, cook on and caramelize to the surface. And I don't know if you can hear that, but that sizzle, and you've got some flames that are starting to come up there. And if we leave this lid off for just a little while longer, we're going to get more and more flame. So you can see it's really starting to build. That's because that skin there has a lot of fat in it, and it is dripping down onto the coals. If we let that flame keep coming up like that, we're gonna end up with a nice black burnt piece of chicken. It's not my favorite. See, it's happening more and more, so that's good. That's what I was hoping to see. Okay, so get a good look at that flame. Come over here, from right over here, Charlie. You see that, all that flame? Okay, we wanna get rid of that. So here's what we're gonna do. Put the lid down, that's it. And let's go ahead and close this back off to about halfway. There. And as that smoke builds inside there and the air slows everything down, see the smoke's coming up again, that flame's going to be gone. And I will show you here. Let's give it a couple more seconds. All right, then I'll get down low here so we can take a quick peek, because we're not going to open this lid for very long now. All right, and hey, no flame. Flame's gone. Just nice smoke. Oh, there it comes again because we let the oxygen in. That's how we control the flame. And that's how you don't burn your food. Okay, so let's keep on cooking for a while, and then we'll do our last flip and sauce, and we'll be good to go. Okay, we've done about 5 minutes or so of letting that skin side char up a little bit. I'm expecting that one piece in the middle, or maybe those couple pieces in the middle, to be a little extra black because I let that fire go for a bit. Let's have a look here. Hey, not too bad. See that juice dripping? That actually looks pretty nice. That's not too much char, but it's right on the edge. And over here, let's get this guy over. That's pretty. And how about these guys? Looking nice. So now, oh, that one. I like that one. That's a nice crispy skin, not too black. That's looking real good. Okay, so now, we don't want these to burn, right? So, chicken's looking good over here. Now what we can do is we can put these back over here, because we need to let them finish cooking, because I doubt the temperature inside is right yet. Get those away from the flame. This one is the least done, so I'm going to leave it the least close, the closest here. Get it away from the flame, and we're going to let those finish cooking. That's looking really nice. Yeah. Overall, we're looking really good here. So I'm going to leave these drumsticks here over the flame a little bit still, and let me finish saucing the other side of these 4 here. I usually do chicken thighs and drumsticks about 45 minutes to an hour, and I think we're going to end up being right about the hour mark. And those, you can see here, the thighs have got the most color because they've had the most time directly over the hottest part of the grill. The legs are a little bit more uniform, not quite as charred because they've been kind of like on the edge of the heat, and which is nice because the legs aren't quite as thick as the thighs, and that way they're cooking nice and evenly. It's going to be a good piece of chicken there. Just sauce that up nice. I'm going to let that sauce kind of cook to the surface and caramelize on there. There we go. And in the meantime, those ribs over there are looking real good. Let's take a peek on the underside of the ribs and see what we're dealing with here. Yeah, there we go. And we're looking good. It's just cooking away there. Not much to do there, but let those cook. So let's put the lid down. And the chicken will be done pretty soon. We'll use our Thermo Pro Instant Read to see what the temperature is of that chicken and make sure that it has reached its safe cooking, temp. All right, soon. Okay, it's now 10:56, and Charlie and I got out here, got to chatting. It's been 5 minutes over an hour. And let's have a look at our chicken and see how we're doing. Oh, that smells so good. Let's get a temperature check, all right? We're looking for at least 165 on this chicken here for it to be safe. And look at that, 171. Excellent. We're looking great here. That was 180. We're still good there. 172. Excellent. I love this instant read. Works so easy. 174. All those pieces are really nice. What about these legs here? 171. Yep. 180. Juice coming out. These are done. 171. Excellent. We're looking good. Let's go ahead and get these off the grill. Got non-sauced over here. So nice. And we'll put the saucies on the other side over here. That is so good. Okay. And I'll set these over here. And we're still going to let these ribs cook for a while. I can start to see little bones right there. See that? Bone, little bone, little bone. That's a sign that those ribs are getting closer to being done. Close that lid. I'm going to let these chill out here for a second. And then we're going to have ourselves a taste. All right, so once the chicken is done cooking, this is where I really struggle with that patience tool, because I just really want to dig in. So let's go ahead and take this piece right here, and I just want to slice down the side of it over here so we can get a good look at the inside. Go right here. That is gorgeous. That is really pretty. I like that. Yeah. And oh man, I just got to get a nice big bite of this. It's a little hot, so hopefully you don't see me burning my mouth. But here we go. I'm sorry, it gets me every time, man. That is so good. That is really perfect. It's juicy, it's delicious, and man, it just doesn't get any easier than that. Wow. Okay. Well, let's do one of the unsauced pieces. We'll go for a leg here. Okay. I got a little Nashville hot rub on this, so maybe it'll have a little bit of spice to it. But I am looking forward to this bite. Oh my gosh, that is good. That is the McCormick Nashville Hot. You know, I don't normally promote rubs and stuff like that because I think you can make a lot on your own. This is a good one. Okay, well that's the chicken. That's how it's done. Nice and easy. Now I'm just going to wait until those ribs are done. So I'm going to, off camera, just let those finish cooking up. And then we're going to come back in and we'll show you the end result of those ribs, okay? And then I'll let you know the rookie mistake number 5. All right, Charlotte. I want to know what you think now.
That's pretty good.
Good. Glad you like it. All right, we're going to close out this video with some ribs. And in a second here, I'm going to pull the lid off this. It is now on the Thermo Pro clock here, 12:24. And so these ribs have been cooking for, I don't even know what time it was when I started, a couple, 2.5 hours? So, sounds about right. I did a little something special to these ribs off camera to get them extra tender and delicious, and I'm not going to tell you what that was. So if you're going to want to know what I did, you're going to have to subscribe to my channel. Do me a favor and maybe like this video too if you liked it, and you'll see it in future videos because I'll be doing a lot of cooks here with the Weber kettles. So you know, help you out with some more info on that. But you know, make sure to go to the comments and leave me a comment. I love that. Any questions you got, anything you want to see me do, if I left something, some piece of information out, if you don't quite understand something, please ask me questions and shoot me those comments. Let me know what you think. I appreciate it very much. And check the description because there'll be some information in there about various tools and things that I use. There'll be links to things, and if you do actually end up buying something from one of these links, just so you know, I will get a commission off that. I appreciate that because it helps support the channel. For example, this thing cost me $300 with tax, $311, and that's out of my own pocket. And so any little extra cash that I make from making these videos helps pay for stuff like this. So let's check out these ribs, and there they are. Now, they are fully cooked and they are looking really good. Check out the bone show there. Got a little sauce on there. So I'm going to go ahead and take these. Matter of fact, I want anything falling apart, so a little extra support there from my big spatula. And we're going to go right here on the cutting board. Bone fell, a little piece of bone fell out. Nice. All right. I'm going to let these cool off for a minute, and then we're going to carve in to let you have a look at how these turned out. All right, and just shut down the kettle here. Notice we still got some coals down in there. I'm just going to go ahead and close the lid now and choke off the air completely up top and close off the air completely down below. There we go. And now that fire will die out. Okay, one thing I thought of that I didn't mention before is some of you might be wanting to know what the temperature is, the final cooking temperature of these ribs. Personally, I don't really care. I can tell by looking at them they're done, but let's go ahead and get the probe in there. 195 about, 194 there. Yeah, okay. So we're at about, we're close to 200 degrees, which is an excellent temperature for ribs. The probe's going in nice and easy, and we're looking good. Okay, there you go. All right, so these ribs have been resting for about 10 minutes so far, and we're about to carve into them, so I'll let you have a look at the inside. And so just remember, if you're thinking about getting into barbecue, or maybe, like I said, you just started and you don't know where to begin, or, you know, so these are what I recommend. You know, you need a good grill, for example, and I highly recommend the Weber kettles, you know, any of the three. They have other options also, but I just start off with a regular old basic Weber kettle. The 22 inches is the way to go. You're going to need some fuel, so I highly recommend the Kingsford charcoal. Just works great. And then a few other little tools. That metal trash can, very handy thing to have for the ashes, and that charcoal chimney starter is a great way to go to get your charcoal lit up. Some pair of high heat gloves are real handy to have. Instant read thermometer like this ThermoPro Lightning is a fantastic tool to have as well. And some of those little tumbleweed lighting things for lighting up your charcoal, very, very handy. There's not a bunch. Cheap pair of tongs to move that charcoal around. These are the basics that you need. And you know, besides that, your regular cooking tools, tongs and spatula. You just kind of can't live without them. So let's have a look at these ribs and see what we got. We'll just go ahead and cut right down the middle here. I hit a bone. There it is. All right, and there we go. There's a rib. And sorry if you hear a little yard tools going on. I do have neighbors. That is just beautiful. Nice and soft. And look how easy the meat comes off the bone there. It's just stuck a little bit. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get a bite of this right now. I'll do this piece first, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the bone. Man, that never gets old. Oh. That is so good. All right, now one bite right off the bone. Charlotte, you want to get in on this? Those are amazing. All right, Charlotte, I'm taking over for you, and it's your turn to try this out, okay? All right, Charlotte, what do you think? Is it a little warm still?
Really good.
You like it? All right, good. I'm glad. Nothing makes me happier than to see people, especially family, enjoying my awesome barbecue. And I'm glad that I got to teach you how to use a charcoal grill. So thanks for working with me on this, Charlie. All right, so I can spin this around here so you can see me again. Hello. So that's it. We're good for now. Thank you for watching. I really hope you learned something, and don't forget comments and questions, all that stuff. Check the description too. Thanks for being here. I'm Tony, it's Charlie, Tony BBQ, and have fun, my friends. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Rookie mistake number 5. This is the biggest mistake of them all. Giving up, quitting. Okay, now in your very first cook, if you burn your chicken, or if your chicken turns out bloody, or you can't get the coals to burn right, or whatever, you know, that happens. That's normal. Don't worry about it. All right, you're gonna get past that. Don't give up. Barbecuing is great. Once you get the hang of it, it's one of the funnest, most relaxing, most satisfying things you can do. It's just a great way to cook your food and enjoy yourself. And trust me. Okay, don't give up. Just roll with it. Relax. Be patient. Just learn to have fun with it, and it'll all work out for you, okay? Hey, thanks again, and take care, my friends.